Hello, welcome to Bourbon and House. I'm Tristan Blair. I'm here at Eleve in Walnut Creek, California, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing the Jefferson's Ocean-Aged Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's a bourbon by Jefferson's. They blend a lot of their bourbons in Kentucky. I don't know a lot more about them. I know that they have several expressions up to the mid-20s, 25-year-old rye, 21-year-old presidential selection, all the way down to some of their small batch bourbons. This is one of their newest, if not their newest, expression called Aged at Sea, Ocean. And what that means is it's been aged for 4 years at sea. It crosses the equators a couple times, and it's the first of its kind, to my knowledge, in terms of American bourbons. And for that reason, it is very unique. Yeah, it goes, I think, around the world twice. So you get a lot of temperature change. Aging spirits at sea is not a new thing. Some of the Nordic countries have done it for centuries. But again, in terms of bourbon, this is, again, to my knowledge, one of the first. So imagine it being at sea. It's going to get a lot of that. Obviously, the salt air is going to go into those barrels. It's aged on one of those large barge-type ships, and only about, I think, between around 13 and 15,000 bottles each year are made. So if you see this, I highly recommend it. The store I bought it at only got, I think it was 12 bottles in, so 2 cases, and it went quick. It was around $65. It's a really good deal. So yeah, let's give it a nose. It's funny, before I had this, the first thing I wish someone had told me was that, basically I wish they had told me nothing about it, so that I wouldn't have any things in my mind that I think I should smell or I should taste. That being said, after having a couple friends taste it, they came to the same conclusion to me, so I knew it wasn't me just saying what I should say. But on the nose, it's really interesting. You definitely get a lot of that salt. A lot of the brine that you would kind of find in an Islay scotch, like a Lefroy or a Talisker. It's a lot of that kind of wet, aridness to it. Really interesting. I'm actually reading from my notes tonight too, so you definitely get the vanilla, very subtle vanilla. You get some sherry. Wood spices, definitely wood spices, toffee, green apple, you get vegetal hints, citrus, lemon, grapefruit, kind of a grassy, green grass. Again, probably back to that briny, the seaweed aspects to it. Interesting, I got cured meat, kind of like a soprassetto salamis, or like you get in a deli. Very interesting. Back to the sherry and the soprassetto, which is basically salami cured with wine. You do get that kind of wine, acidic berryness to it as well. Very interesting. You don't get a lot of dark fruits or brown sugars or anything, which again is interesting considering that it's aged at sea. It was distilled in Kentucky, then aged at sea. It didn't. It's very different than spirits distilled on land in the middle of a continent, let alone ones that have been going through the equator, up and down, massive temperature changes. Very interesting. So let's give it a sip. Again, it's not overpowering, but you definitely get the salt, sea saltiness. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there. You get some sawdust, some peanuts, you get vanilla, toffee, again, classic bourbon notes around the mid palate, gentle medium spices in the back palate, wood. A little bit of menthol. Get some red fruits, some raspberries, strawberries. And then as it goes down the back, it's kind of like some black cracked pepper. If you get the pepper there. Ground pepper. Something I don't normally take note of, which I should. I apologize, I'm new to these videos, but it's the color. This bourbon is a very light color. I don't know if you can see from the glass, but it's not a lot of color. One of the reasons I think that is because the bourbon wasn't sitting still for very long. It was sloshing back and forth in the barrel, and I could be wrong, but to me, I think that's one of the reasons why the color isn't really that dark. It's not sitting there soaking all it can of the wood. It's soaking more of what's coming through the wood, and it's got a lot going on. It's very interesting. Finish, I mean, finish I would say is moderate to medium. Nothing to really write home about. But again, going back to that ground pepper on the back palate, you get some of that steadily through the finish. It's not aggressive, very light. You get a woodiness, slight peanut buttery woodiness, bitter barrel char. You get almost like a cashews, like a cashew or a macadamia nut. Very, again, back to the peanut butter and the woodiness. Shelled nuts. Very interesting. I have to say, overall, to me personally, this bourbon isn't very standout. It's not, apart from the fact that it's more of a novelty, I would have probably never purchased this. To be quite frank, I probably wouldn't purchase another one, even if it was the last batch ever made. If I'd have to rate it, I'd rate it probably about an 8.2. It's good. It's definitely good. Like all of Jefferson's products, very solid. But again, more people are, I feel, going to be buying this, especially bourbon connoisseurs, because it was aged at sea. That being said, nothing that more spectacular about it. Cheers.